Hi guys. So today we will be discussing about the travel from India to Canada through indirect route. So as you all know that Canada has suspended the flights from India, like the direct flight from India, and whoever is choosing an indirect route through another country needs to take the RT-PCR in that country and then take the onward flight to Canada. So this situation has created a lot of problems for people traveling. So right now I am in that situation. I mean, I knew what I was getting into, but there was some hope that the government would lift the ban. So right now they are having this monthly bans, and then they are extending like one day before the ban end date. So right now I'm in that situation. So more than a week, it's been more than a week that I'm running around and looking at experiences that people are having um, through the indirect route. So there are very few countries which are allowing flights from India to stay, basically to exit the airport. Even transit, the rules are changing every other week, that whether you can whether you can transit through that airport or not. So there are a lot of permutations and combinations that you need to keep a track of. So okay, travel agents are there, but from people that have traveled so far, I have heard stories that travel agents have missed on some of the key updates or information, and the unknowns had to be figured out by the passengers themselves. So that's something that everyone needs to do some homework before travel. So yeah, I would suggest to go through travel agents as much as possible, because they know better in this situation. So at least the ticket and the hotel and the RT-PCR stuff, at least they can book for you, and then you can just take care of the other logistics, right? What documentation you need, and the contact information at the hotel, or what needs to be done. All those things you can do it. So the heavy lifting can be done by the travel agent. So a lot of time and effort goes into this, guys. Like um, it's been, as I said, more than a week, and I have reached that point where um, you kind of give up. Not like give up, but give up for the day, or just wait for the next day to see if there's any good updates from these different transiting countries. So that's what is happening. Like, I am talking to agents, I'm looking at YouTube videos through these, like, different people traveling through different transits. But at the end of the day, there's so much information that you cannot just make a decision like in a day or two. So once, even if you figure out the best route out of all the information that you have, um, say the third day or the fourth day, you make up your mind that okay, let's go through this route, and then suddenly things change in that route. Like, for example, I think it's Serbia or Ukraine, one of those countries where people were going, and then suddenly it announced that okay, all people traveling to that country needs to quarantine for, I don't know, like 5 days, 10 days, 11 days. So that was then off the list, right? Once that happens. And then recently, like yesterday or like 2 days ago, one guy was traveling, transiting, right, through Abu Dhabi, because UAE recently lifted the ban for people traveling from India for transit. So that was out in the news and everybody knew about it. But for Abu Dhabi, things were different apparently. The Air India officials at the airport didn't allow that guy to board the flight because they said that no, Abu Dhabi needs, the visa even to transit. So the guy's onward journey from there, I think he was taking two transits after that. So everything was, and even a stay in that country. So everything was impacted by this. So he went higher. I mean, of course, if when somebody turns you away at the airport, you just don't stop with that person. You go higher and higher, and then he got something in writing from Air India, but they ended up giving him the written whatever that you cannot travel to Abu Dhabi without a visa. So when things like this happen and you see it, right, the moment you get up the next day, so whatever hard work you have done the last few days, um, just figuring out that this route A or route B is the best for you, that route becomes invalid the next day, right? So for me, like what happened is I was relying on one of the travel agents. I think everyone knows it's Ria Travels, who is currently operating chartered flights through the Cairo indirect route. So I was very hopeful on that indirect route and through these guys, because I was thinking, okay, you have like 300 people all going for the same destination. So whatever issues that one encounters, at least you have people, right, to fall back on, because the travel agents would be there, they'll be on call, whatever. But even if they don't pick up the phone or they're helpful, you have the fellow passengers, right? 300 people, that's a big strength. So if you have, like, for example, you want to call someone, or you need cash, or you need food, water at the airport, then you have people, right, all together. So, and also even the immigration, right? So the travel agents were the agents were taking care of all that, like visa on arrival, whatever. So because it was a bulk this thing, they knew that okay, this flight people are for this purpose, so they used to collect all the passports and things were done smoothly, like the official stuff. um, and it's tried and tested. They've been doing this for like a month without much issues. So I was very hopeful for that, but suddenly this week the demand went down. People, were not that many, so they're running on not full capacity, almost full capacity. So they have this last flight in a couple of days, and no flights after that. So then, and I had put a lot of effort in this Cairo indirect route, and suddenly that got off my list. So it's still, I mean, people can still travel through Cairo, but through commercial, not through these chartered planes. But there may not be a direct flight to Cairo from India. So again, you need to take a transit and work out the logistics, transit visas, and all those things, right? So it's still possible, but it won't be the same as what I've been planning for the last few days. So that is one. And then I think Serbia, we I just discussed that they suddenly announced that no people coming, even like coming to stay in that country needs to have quarantine for whatever 5 days, 11 days. So that went off the list. I'm not sure, Serbia or Ukraine, one of those countries. So that's with that. And UAE, anyways, you cannot exit the airport without a visa, so that's again a problem. So now we have Albania, Maldives, and Mexico, and Cairo, of course. So again, I was going through the stories for each of these countries. It's not smooth, guys. Like for example, Albania, I was checking one lady. It was smooth the way she was narrating. Everything was smooth. Even the cost was like competitive. Like whatever the 2 lakh, 2.5, 2.3, whatever is going on right now in the market. So that was the rate, but when I checked after watching the video, um, it was not what she was telling. It was like just from India to Albania, it was costing 2.5 lakhs. So when you see that, right, you're demotivated that what's going on, right? And I tried all the other websites, not just one. So it's very demotivating. I mean, first of all, the two lakh whatever is expensive for a one way, and then when you see this, you get even more demotivated. Like, what do you do, right? I mean, you have stories, but things change every day in terms of price, in terms of rules, in terms of whatever. So it's very stressful. um, and then you get to think, right, that okay, you have few more days until the ban potentially ends. Do you need to wait and try your luck there for direct flights? Again, there will be crazy competition there. The websites, I think, won't be accessible because of the traffic. And then you have travel agents wrestling for the seats. It's going to be a nightmare anyway. I'm not sure how high the prices will be. So whatever you choose, guys, it will be a nightmare. So I don't know what my story will be. So right now, I just took a break. I'm not even looking on anything because last few days, every day looking at this, I'm like, it doesn't matter because things change every day, and let's see, right? So let's see. Hopefully, um, something comes up and things happen, right? And it's safe as well. So let's see. Mm, so I was just joking around today that okay, after looking at all these routes, I was just joking that the best way to travel is just take the flight outside the planet, go to Mars, take an RT-PCR there, and then travel to Canada. Maybe use one of the Jeff Bezos's flight, right, which he has started recently. I was just getting to that point because the logistics for each of these countries and the people on the ground, right? We are stressed so much and things are changing. The ground staff, they don't have a clue what's going on upstairs, right? So even the immigration officers at the Indian airports, they are like, you need a visa. Like for example, Albania, right? It doesn't require a visa for Indian passport holders. It doesn't even give the visa on arrival. It just checks and then maybe stamps your entry, exit, whatever. But the immigration officers at the airport, they are like, no, that's not how it works. Every country needs a visa. They wasted like an hour, and then his colleague was helping him that no, okay, Albania, yeah, they can travel, it's okay. So it's it's a very difficult time for everyone, not just travelers, but the ground staff and immigration officers and you know everyone. So it's a nightmare. Once again, I know I have repeated it 3 times, but I've already gotten so many nightmares after spending so much time on this. So, yep. So, hoping that things get better. And if you guys have any suggestions or something which is really good, cheap, and reasonable and safe, and you can uh, opt for that route. If you suggest that, then yeah, you can let us know, and then we'll look into it. That will be of great help after, especially after what I have been going through last few days. So